Every skilled liar starts with the same sentence. Would I lie to you? It sounds harmless, almost funny. But this simple little question is actually the sweetest trap your brain can fall into. See, your mind is hardwired to trust first, doubt later. It's a built-in survival instinct, just like when you hear rustling in the bushes and assume it's the wind until it's not. If your brain doubted everything all the time, you'd burn out by breakfast. So when someone locks eyes with you and asks, "Would I lie to you?" your brain flips on the probably not switch to save energy. Psychologists at Stanford have even shown that we humans suffer from a thing called truth bias, the natural tendency to believe what people say, especially if they seem confident. And fake confidence is every liar's favorite armor. Funny thing is, even when your gut whispers, "Something's off here," you'll probably smile politely and dismiss it as if they were just teasing. And here's the weird part. Your brain releases dopamine, yes, the happy chemical when you trust someone, like finding a surprise 90% discount on Amazon and thinking, "This must be real." Professional manipulators know this too. They lower their voice, hold eye contact, radiate honesty, while they quietly pick your pocket of logic and caution. Remember that coworker who forgot the report and smiled, "Would I lie to you?" Or that ex who texted late at night, "I never lied to you." You heard it. You smiled, but something deep down felt tight, uneasy. Even experts still argue about this. Some claim that mindfulness, staying mentally present, can help you catch these little traps. Others say this instinct to trust is buried so deep in our DNA that it's almost impossible to unlearn. Think back. When was the last time you heard those exact words? Maybe from a teacher, an old friend, a tricky business partner. Soft traps. Silky smooth, freezing your instincts just long enough to let the lie slip past. Funny how your brain works, huh? Like a cat hearing a tuna can pop open expecting food, getting a box instead. And you laugh at yourself, fell for it again. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And hey, leave a comment, tell me where you're watching from and what time it is right now. Are you in New York sipping coffee at 8 a.m.? Or somewhere cozy in Seattle, 10 p.m. with rain tapping your window? Now, let's calm down and begin our journey of listening and healing together today. And every time you've heard that line before, what did you feel? That flicker of suspicion, like a weak scooter headlight struggling in the dark? But your brain rocked you back to sleep. It's probably fine. Right there, that's when the liar had you. Here's the real trick. Great liars rarely deny things directly. They ask questions to make you deny for them. Like the shady used car guy saying, "This car's in perfect shape. You think I'd lie to you?" And you smiling, nodding, signing papers. Gotcha. Here's something you probably didn't know. Your brain only properly checks about 1/3 of the info it receives. The rest, it skips. So when you hear, "Would I lie to you?" your mind only processes the familiar ring of that phrase, like sitcom jokes you've heard before, and moves on without digging deeper. Researchers still debate whether it's possible to hack your brain to spot deception in the first 3 seconds. Some suggest watching micro-expressions, tiny changes in voice tone. But nobody's truly sure. Isn't that wild? So next time you hear "would I lie to you?" what will you do? Smile. Or pause just long enough for your inner alarm bell to ring. Maybe, just maybe, you'll sidestep another sweet little trap. And just when you think you've dodged that first trick, here comes the second classic line. Why don't you trust me? A simple question, but loaded like a silent grenade. It turns the spotlight back on you. Suddenly, you feel like the villain, the suspicious one, the cold-hearted detective in a sea of trusting fools. Your brain hates this feeling. It's called cognitive dissonance, the discomfort of holding to conflicting thoughts. On one hand, you suspect this person is lying. On the other, you don't want to believe you're the kind of person who doubts someone you care about. So what happens? Your mind, like a tired parent on a road trip, just wants peace. It leans toward trust to make the discomfort go away. Here's the sneaky part. Asking "why don't you trust me?" forces you to question yourself, not them. It makes you wonder, am I being unfair? Am I overreacting? See, the liar doesn't need to convince you, they get you to convince yourself. And this trick runs deeper than you think. Scientists have discovered that the oxytocin hormone, the so-called trust hormone, plays a huge role here. When you spend time with someone, especially someone who acts close or caring, your body starts pumping more oxytocin. Your brain tags this person as safe. So when they question your trust, your brain freaks out. Wait, I thought we trusted this person. Are we wrong? And just like that, you lower your guard. Here's a weird fact. Oxytocin can actually increase gullibility in humans. Sounds backwards, right? But experiments show that people under the influence of oxytocin are more likely to fall for scams, even from strangers. Nature's cruel joke. And the experts still debating this one. Some believe you can train yourself to overcome this biological trust trigger through skepticism and questioning. Others say this hormone is a built-in survival feature helpful for bonding. Terrible when facing liars. No one's fully cracked the code. Think about your own life for a moment. How many times have you heard this line? Maybe from a friend who forgot to pay you back. Maybe from a partner who accidentally hid messages on their phone. You heard it. Why don't you trust me? And suddenly you were apologizing for doubting them. Like someone being convinced the fire alarm is just low battery, while smoke fills the room. It's like those courtroom dramas where the slick liar leans over and says, "Your Honor, do you really think I'd bring false evidence into this court?" Making the judge feel like the bad guy for even considering it. Brilliant. Manipulative. Timeless. And here's the funny part. Your brain wants to be a good person. You want to be fair, reasonable, not paranoid. Liars know this. They rely on it. Because a reasonable person will doubt themselves before doubting someone they love. Here's something most people don't know. When you feel guilt or shame, from this exact question, your brain's amygdala lights up like a Christmas tree. Flooded with emotional confusion, you become easier to manipulate. Your logic circuits, the prefrontal cortex, go dim. Like trying to read small print in a smoky room. Perfect conditions for a liar to work their magic. And the scientists still scratching their heads. Some argue that teaching kids critical thinking early can reduce this vulnerability. Others say that once oxytocin and guilt flood your system, it's game over. Your biology is driving the car, but you're learning to spot the pattern now. You can feel it, the shift, the emotional bait. When they ask, "Why don't you trust me?" you no longer rush to explain or defend. You pause. You let the silence hang heavy. A quiet little rebellion in a world of smooth talkers. It's a tiny moment, but its power. Maybe the next time you hear that line, you'll smile, not in confusion, but in clarity. Because now you know, when someone demands your trust, it's probably the very moment they deserve it the least. And just when they feel you're slipping into doubt, here comes the third sneaky question. Who told you that? Oh, this one. You've heard it before. The moment this question leaves their mouth, the room shifts. The air feels heavier. Your chest tightens. Like someone quietly closed a door behind you. See what they did there? They turned the focus away from themselves and onto your source. Who whispered the truth in your ear? Who pulled back the curtain on their little game? Now, they want names, not explanations, not facts. Names. And your brain, always trying to keep peace, hesitates. You don't want to snitch on anyone. Maybe it was your best friend, a coworker, or that nosy aunt who sees everything. But now you feel like you're the one betraying someone. Clever, isn't it? Psychologists call this information control, the tactic manipulators use to choke the flow of truth by scaring or shaming the messenger. When they know the source, they can discredit it, manipulate it, or cut it off. And you're left standing there, holding the hot potato, unsure what to do. Here's a weird fact. Did you know humans are one of the only species that spread information socially, even when it costs them? In the wild, most animals only pass warnings for survival. But humans gossip, share secrets, pass truth and lies alike. It's why civilizations formed, and also why liars thrive. And the experts still debating why we risk telling secrets at all. Some say it's built into our evolutionary need to protect the tribe. Others argue it's about personal gain, manipulating social status. No clear answer yet. Think about this. Every time you've heard "Who told you that?" didn't you feel that flicker of panic? Like when you open your phone and see 47 missed calls from your mom, you know trouble's coming. Your mind races. Should I protect my source? Should I lie? Should I back off? And the liar waits, smiling, knowing you're tangled. This moment is gold for them, because once you reveal the source, they can spin the story. Oh, he hates me. Or, that's just gossip. She's always jealous. And poof, the truth you glimpse turns foggy again. And here's the science. The human brain hates incomplete puzzles. It craves closure. This is called the Zeigarnik effect. Unfinished stories stay stuck in your mind. So when they ask, "Who told you that?" they trigger this loop, forcing you to fill in the blanks even if it betrays someone or yourself. Funny how this works, right? Like when Netflix stops on a cliffhanger and you have to binge the next episode even at 3 a.m. Even if you're late for work, your brain needs the ending. But the truth, in this moment, the best power you hold is silence. Mysterious, uncomfortable silence, because when you don't answer, the liar starts to squirm. Without control over the information, they lose ground. They fill the silence with nervous explanations, weak excuses, or they crack. You're feeling it now, aren't you? That little spark of power in knowing how the game works. How the question itself is the trap, not the answer. Here's another strange fact. Studies show that people trust those who admit they can't reveal sources more than those who spill everything. Strange, but true. Secrecy feels stronger, safer, even honest. And the experts? Still wrestling with this. Some say information control tactics can be spotted early with body language clues, eye darting, defensive posture. Others argue that only deep familiarity with the liar reveals their patterns. No perfect science yet, but you see it now. The pattern, the trap, the tilt of the game. So next time someone leans in and whispers, "Who told you that?" smile quietly. Let the silence hang, like holding an ace in poker, because silence is your weapon, and you don't owe them the truth they don't deserve. And just when you think they might give up, they pull out the next dirty little line. Why are you making such a big deal out of this? Out the classic gaslighting starter pack. Smooth, casual, like asking why you care so much about the weird noise in your car engine when it's probably nothing. But deep down, you know it is something. And this question is their attempt to shrink your truth into nothing. See what they're doing. They're trying to make you doubt your feelings, to make you think, maybe I am overreacting. Maybe it's just in my head. That's not an accident. That's a weapon, a quiet, polite little weapon called gaslighting. And gaslighting, my friend, isn't just some pop psychology buzzword. It's a real, scientifically documented form of emotional abuse. Researchers have found that repeated gaslighting can literally rewire your brain, weakening your trust in your own memory, instincts, and even sanity. Victims start questioning not just the liar, but themselves. Here's a creepy fact most people don't know. Chronic gaslighting can shrink the hippocampus, the part of your brain responsible for memory and clarity, like slowly turning down the volume on your inner voice until you can't hear it at all. Silent, small, and the experts still torn. Some believe early detection can protect your mind if you spot the signs fast enough. Others argue that gaslighting, once deeply rooted, requires long therapy to undo. No magic fix. Only patience. Think about this. How many times have you heard you're overthinking it, or stop being so sensitive when you raised a real concern? Maybe when a friend borrowed money but forgot to pay you back and made you feel guilty for asking. Or when a partner flirted too openly, then called you paranoid for noticing. Ring any bells? It's like when your phone freezes and the tech guy at the store says, "It's fine, probably just your imagination." But you know something's wrong. The instinct is real, the doubt planted. And here's the science behind the madness. Gaslighting hijacks the brain's conflict resolution system. Your mind craves harmony between what you feel and what you're told. When they clash, your brain takes the path of least resistance. Maybe I'm wrong. You surrender to the lie just to end the discomfort. But what's funny is this: in tests, confident people are the easiest to gaslight. Yes, You heard that right. Not the shy ones, the bold ones. Because when they start doubting themselves, the fall feels deeper, and the liar knows this. And the real kicker, experts still argue if gaslighting is a conscious strategy or an instinctive defense some liars develop without thinking. Are they evil geniuses or broken children trapped in adult bodies? Science can't agree yet. But you see the move now. When someone says, "Why are you making such a big deal out of this?" Your new inner voice whispers, "Because it is a big deal." You pause, you breathe. You don't apologize for caring. You don't shrink to make them comfortable. Here's something strange and powerful. Studies show that calling out gaslighting out loud disarms the manipulator. Like popping a balloon. The game relies on your silence, your doubt. Break that, and they stumble dots so next time this question slides into the room, you won't shrink. You'll grow. Even if your voice shakes, even if they roll their eyes, you'll stand firm. Because your feelings matter. Your instincts matter. Your truth matters. And for the first time in a long time, you'll feel the quiet strength of being unshakable. And finally, when every trick has failed, when you're not buying the charm, the guilt, or the gaslight, they sigh, roll their eyes, and drop the last desperate line. Can we just move on? Sounds harmless, doesn't it? Like they're the mature one, the peacemaker. But this, my friend, is the ultimate escape hatch for liars. The last card they play when the truth gets too close to the surface. And your brain, exhausted from the mental wrestling match, wants to say yes. Your mind craves closure. Psychologists call it conflict avoidance, the deep human need to keep the peace, to end discomfort. Even if it means swallowing the truth and pretending it never happened. Like stuffing dirty laundry under the bed when guests arrive. But you know what happens to hidden truth. It rots, it festers, and it returns uglier than before. Here's the strange part. Neuroscientists have found that the brain is capable of temporary forgetting, deliberately pushing painful memories aside to protect you from emotional overload. It's called motivated forgetting. Useful in small doses, deadly when used to survive constant manipulation. Funny, isn't it? Your brain, the smartest computer on earth, sometimes acts like a tired parent, saying, "Let's just pretend this isn't happening so we can get some sleep." And the liar counts on this. They want you to quit, to give in, to let them walk away clean. But the truth, the pain of unfinished business doesn't disappear. It settles deep inside you like a pebble in your shoe, small, silent, but always there. Every argument you moved on from, every betrayal you let go too soon, they build up until one day they crack you wide open. And the experts still debating. Some say conflict avoidance keeps society running smoothly, too much truth, and we'd all explode in chaos. Others argue that unresolved conflict causes more damage in the long run, stress, anxiety, broken trust that never heals. No clear answer. Only scars. Remember that time you moved on because it was easier? When you said it's fine, but it wasn't. Maybe with a friend who lied, but swore it was no big deal. Maybe with family, when speaking up would have ruined Thanksgiving dinner. You smiled. You nodded. But inside, the pebble pressed deeper. Here's a secret most people never hear. Your brain stores every unresolved betrayal even if you consciously forget. MRI scans show lingering activity in the memory centers when people recall forgiven, but not forgotten moments. Like quiet files tucked in the dark corners of your mind. But you're awake now. You feel the weight of this last line. When they say, "Can we just move on?" You hear what they really mean. Can you let me get away with this? And this time, you smile softly because you know you have a choice. You can pause, breathe, decide not to swallow the lie. Maybe you speak. Maybe you stay silent. But you know, and that knowing is freedom. And here's the beautiful twist. The brain can also rewire itself toward truth. Neuroplasticity, the miracle of new pathways forming when you choose honesty, boundaries, courage. Every time you pause instead of pleasing, every time you question instead of complying, you build a new path. Stronger, clearer. The experts call it conscious confrontation. The moment when a person chooses discomfort over denial. Painful in the short term, healing in the long run. And maybe, just maybe, that's you now. So next time they sigh, look bored, and toss out, "Can we just move on?" You'll pause. You'll feel your feet on the ground. You'll smile not with fear, but with quiet power. Because this story is no longer about their lie. It's about your truth. And now, let's slow down. Let's let this all settle. You've walked through the maze of manipulation, the soft traps, the twisting words, the quiet weapons of liars who smile as they deceive. You've seen every move, felt every emotional pull. But more importantly, you've begun to see the shape of your own strength. It's strange, isn't it? How small words, just questions, can tilt your world sideways, make you doubt your memories, your instincts, your sanity. Like walking through fog, reaching for something solid, and finding only mist. But you know better now. You know that trust is earned, not demanded. That doubt is not weakness, it's wisdom dressed in caution. That silence can be a shield. And that sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. You've learned that when someone says, "Would I lie to you?" they probably just did. When they ask, "Why don't you trust me?" you should trust your instincts. When they demand, "Who told you that?" you owe them nothing. When they whisper, "Why are you making such a big deal out of this?" you know it's because the truth matters. And when they beg, "Can we just move on?" you see the panic behind their eyes. So sit for a moment. Breathe. Feel the quiet power of knowing. You don't have to fight. You don't have to explain. You only have to stand in your truth and let the liars spin themselves into silence. Because in the end, truth always waits. Quiet, patient, unbreakable.